Welcome to Wranglers TV. I am your host, Jaci Solomon, and today we are joined here with our digital producer, Annie Nadin, and the voice of the Calgary Wranglers, Sandra Prusina, ahead of Game 2, Round 1 of the Calgary Wranglers playoffs, presented to you by Jeep and Rudd. So I want to get into it and take us back to Tuesday night's Game 1 and the compete level of this team. They were losing 3-0 going into that third period. Annie, what can you say about the compete of this team?
My key takeaway was that Coachella was quick to shut us down, and we had to capitalize when they started making mistakes. The trouble being that they just really didn't make that many mistakes. But now it's different. We have reinforcements like Adam Klapka, Ilya Solovyov, and like Rory said earlier today, there's no clean slate. This is a clear rivalry that we have, so I think we'll see something similar to what we had in that third period.
And Sandra, coming back into this, Annie talked about the reinforcements, Solovyov and Klapka. What do you think that's going to bring to this roster?
Well, listen, those two gentlemen were there in the beginning. They were there back in 23 when this rivalry started. And I think we heard from Adam the other day and said, he basically said, quote, "I don't like this team." So that's all you need to know about the rivalry. And for a lot of these longstanding players, as they potentially move on in their careers, Adam being an example, he's got some unfinished business here. So having somebody like him back in the lineup, a minute muncher like Ilya Solovyov, who really does stabilize the back end for Calgary, those are two difference makers, and I'm sure that Coachella is planning for it.
Goaltending was a big key in Game 1, and I know we can expect the same for Game 2. Ignatieff was incredible for the Wranglers, but so was Coco on the other end. So speaking of goaltending, Annie, what can we expect from Ignatieff?
He put up 46 saves. I think he's got a lot of confidence going into this matchup. He had to get, eased into it a little bit more, but now in that third period, he was standing on his head. So I think that now he has that experience, and I think he can build off of the momentum in the second game there.
He really held the guys in and felt that momentum. They felt that from his end, from the back of the net. And on the other end, they got Coco. And Sandra, what's kind of the key there? We saw a lot of dirty goals. I don't think it's going to be a pretty one that's going to put the Wranglers ahead in Game 2.
He was pitching a shutout for 40 minutes. And then early in the third period, an incredible paddle save on Dryden Hunt on the near side post, something I'd probably say will make the highlight reels this year. And then eventually, Calgary just dug in a little bit more. And 2 of the 3 goals that were scored on Tuesday were from in tight, so low slot or just in front of the arc or in the blue paint. And that's exactly what the Wranglers will need to do again, because I thought Coachella did an exceptional job just blocking the lanes, forcing Calgary to be very perimeter. So you need to essentially, and I hate the terminology, but jam it down their throats, basically. So make it difficult for them to defend, and Calgary's got the personnel to make that happen.
We know this Coachella team, they're on top of Calgary. They don't give them any time and space to move. And how do you kind of play against a team like that?
Well, the third period, I think, is a really good example, and be resilient, because even though he made the incredible paddle save, 2-3 minutes later, Calgary finds the back of the net and 3 unanswered goals, including the one with 7 seconds left to push this one to overtime. So feed into your experience, feed into Clark Bishop, who's a Calder Cup champion, feed into Martin Ferk, who has oodles and oodles of experience in the American Hockey League. And I think for the players who have been here since the beginning, remember what it was like in 2023, 2024, and the bad feeling and taste you had in your mouth after this team eliminated you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's nice to have those key guys who don't forget that moment, and that's what they're fighting for. And we saw that in Clark Bishop in Game 1. He's a leader on and off the ice, and from watching this game, you could visibly see his fight and resilience, and he kept this team in it. He did not give up, even when you're down 3 goals, and that's such an easy thing to do. You just want to give up. Annie, what can you say about him and seeing him in practice this week?
He has the fight and the leadership, and I think the guys really learn from him by example. He doesn't quit. And we saw that he's hitting hard even when we're down 3-0. And I think the guys really hold on to that. And that's what carried us. Having that confidence and fight and grit. Those were the plays that we saw to get those goals.
Absolutely. And Sandra, going into a must-win game tonight, what is kind of crucial from this team and from your experience and what we've kind of seen in practice this week as well?
It's a cliche, one shift at a time, one period at a time, one game at a time. And I know we throw these out, especially as broadcasters, we do it a lot. But I think that's the way that this bench is going to approach that. And I think for Trent Cull and his crew, lean into the depth that's on this roster, lean into the players that you're getting back. And if there is a mistake, don't exacerbate it. Just move on and focus on the next thing that you're going to do right.
Alrighty, Wranglers fans, you can catch round 1, game 2 on AHL FloHockey. Don't miss it.